Well, Hector, I got to tell you what. Welcome to our bar. I can see you've got the R bar. You got the bar background. That's the real thing.
I could not show up to your bar without my bar. That would just be ridiculous.
That's true. We might have too much fun here. Okay. Well, listen. Here's the rules, Hector. We're
Okay.
going to ask you 10 random questions. Okay. You have the option to answer the question or pass. But if you answer the question, then we're going to donate money. And we have a great charity today. It's World Central Kitchen. This is the folks, Jose Andres, it's a famous chef. He put together a program where he gets restaurants right now during this COVID thing. He gets restaurants to prepare meals, and then they give them away, and all the donations 100% go to all these good causes. They're the first people in for a lot of disasters, like in Haiti, that gets all the food there for people. So it's a great program. And if anybody else would like to donate to that, you can go to wck.org, and you can make some donation as well. Okay, now we're going to do this. We're going to ask some questions. I hope you're ready. Are you ready?
I hold on.
Okay.
Cheers, sir.
Well, there you go. We're set.
I
What's with me? I got water. I did something wrong.
have a glass for you here also, but you're
Oh,
not.
there you go. Okay. And so what we're going to do is we're going to ask you these questions. And, I find you a really fascinating man, and I think that we're going to have some really fun here, as well as a good friend. I really enjoy our time when we have time together. And so then we're going to ask you a speed round. We're going to have a little speed round where you can answer how many items that you can in 15 seconds name off. That puts some more money for the donations. 15 seconds, name off things that you know Roderman sells and does. And then we're going to ask you a question, or not a question. We're going to ask you to tell a little story of something that was either an aha moment in your life that you thought would be interesting, or just a funny thing. Sometimes funny things happen because later they're not so funny when they happen, but maybe later they're funny, right? So we're going to get started. And we're going to get the first question coming out, okay? Here we go. Here we are. Okay. Well, this is going to be good.
Oh, no.
Well, yeah, this is oh no. Yeah. What is the craziest thing you have ever done?
Oh, George.
Uh-oh. The craziest thing that Hector's ever done.
I have always attempted to live, even before the movie came out, I have always attempted to live a very Forrest Gump-like life. I like one event to lead me to another event with as little planning as possible, because I find planning boring and just takes the fun out of everything.
Right.
So which stories can I tell you on this public?
Yeah. Figure out which. Maybe you should have another sip of your drink. I don't know. Let's see what story you can tell.
Okay. So I think one of the most off the cuff, and I actually think I've shared the story with you. One of the off the cuff craziest things I've ever done. I was in Santiago, Chile years ago. And I was there visiting a client, great client, a lot of fun. And while I was there, I realized I was just about a 5-hour plane ride from Easter Island.
Wow.
For those of you who don't know Easter Island, it's a famous island in the middle of freaking nowhere that has these giant heads that surround the island. Nobody knows why they're there. Nobody's really sure exactly, how they got there. And as a kid, I grew up watching In Search of, the TV series.
Yeah.
People in my generation. And Easter Island was one of the things they focused on. And I thought to myself, I'm never, ever going to have this opportunity again. And so I called my wife and I said, hey, I'm adding a few days to my trip. I'm going to Easter Island.
Did she believe you when you said that? Did she go, Easter Island, really?
My poor wife, who has, I think, over time, 28 years of counting, babe.
Hey, good job.
She has gotten used to my Looney Tune kind of life, and off I went. And I had zero plans, like I mentioned earlier. Plans are boring.
Yeah.
Right before I left, I'm at the airport, and I'm like, I don't know what's available on this island. All I know is really it's got these giant heads and it's in the middle of nowhere. So I wanted to buy some supplies, and all I could find was 2 bottles of champagne. Keep in mind, I'm shopping at the airport here. A box of cigars, a few packets of cookies, and that was it, man. That is Hector getting ready for a safari.
On Easter Island.
and I go, and I arrived, and the hotel that I had been staying at had gotten a place for me to stay, which was literally a hut. 4 walls, a door, 2 windows, and a plank that they call the bed. And so when I got to the island, I was like, man, there's no air conditioning. It's hot as hell. How do people live this way? No, I'm kidding. And so I went into town, as it were, hoping to find a box fan. I did not find a box fan. And so I could tell you the story for a long, long time over steak and scotch one night or wine.
But the thing is that's pretty crazy, because what I love is when you said, "Hey, it's only a 5-hour flight." It's only a 5-hour flight. Let's just hop over to East Island. Okay, I think that one definitely gets the.
At that point in time, flights for me were 14 hours, 12 hours. So 5 hours. That's it.
Yeah, well, that's just a hop. Okay, so you answered that one. So that's money to the charity. Okay, if you're going to be in a movie and had to choose an animal as a sidekick, what would it be and why? So if you're going to be in a movie, what would your sidekick be if you chose an animal as a sidekick?
I don't know why Bengal tiger jumped in my head.
Oh, yeah, why did that jump in your head?
When you said sidekick, Bengal tiger, I own a Shih Tzu dog. Not the same thing, but
okay.
I like pets with 4 legs. I don't know.
Okay, so you like pets with 4. Well, a Bengal tiger. That's. I don't know what island you're going to have to fly to find one of those, but you might. It'll be only a 5 or 6 hour flight.
I don't know why it can't be a regular, run of the mill tiger, but for some reason Bengal tiger is where it's at. I don't know.
Well, you don't want to run of the mill tiger.
That's true.
Okay. What? Well, this is interesting because you just told something. What's the oddest place you've ever been to, and why? So now now that doesn't have to be necessarily an island. It could just be a odd customer visit. It could be a who knows what. Oddest place.
Again, so I'm flying around the Middle East, visiting clients some years ago, and we stop to refuel in the Kingdom of Jordan.
Okay.
Now, Kingdom of Jordan is an American ally. Their government is very friendly towards ours.
Right.
So I wasn't worried. And I tend not to be that big a worrier anyway. And something happened, and to this day I really don't know what, but I had to stay there. And they told me that the next flight out wouldn't be for 48 hours.
Wow.
And I was just like, okay, when you do international travel, you get used to it.
Right.
Pro tip: patience is your greatest friend when you're traveling internationally,
right,
especially in business. And so I'm not really thinking this is a big deal. I get towards the front doors leading to the bus that's taking me to my hotel, and the first thing I see is a cannon. I don't know what kind of a gun it is. I'm not really, hip on my military weapons. This thing to me looked like a cannon, sandbags all around it, and right in front of it is like a Humvee kind of vehicle with, which I believe it's an M50. It's got the 2 triggers.
Oh yeah, the big guy, yeah.
And I look down the street, and there's these sandbag, reinforced areas with heavy automatic weapons everywhere. And I'm just like, this is going to be interesting. And I was traveling with other seasoned travelers, and these Australian guys took pity on me, and I ended up having a fabulous time in the Kingdom of Jordan. The food's terrific. The people are great. The landscape's a little scary, no doubt,
right.
But, this is the world we live in. So
Yeah, it is. You know, it reminds me. I was flying to the Philippines, and I landed there pretty late, and I went to a hotel I'd never been to, and I got there, and I just said, no. There's guys with machine guns all around. Like, yeah, this is just not looking good. It was really dark out, and I said, I'm going to go. So I went across town, and I went into this Hyatt. I found a Hyatt, and the guy says, hey, we don't have any rooms, and I don't think we have any rooms. I said, well, I'll wait in the lobby. You know, this is like 1 o'clock in the morning. And so finally he says, oh, we found a room. I said, fantastic. Somebody didn't check in. So I got the room. I woke up in the morning feeling all comfortable and solid with myself. And then I took the newspaper. I was reading the paper in the morning, and it started talking about, hey, we were able to stop a bombing that was supposed to happen. And they talked about the facility it was going to happen at. Next thing I know, I find out it's the building right next to me that was supposed to have a bombing. And I think I made myself all safe. And then I find out that they're trying to have a coup that day. They were celebrating a particular time. And I look out, it was a tank out the street. I'm thinking they brought the tanks into town to try to swear off a coup. And I'm like, oh my gosh, where's the airport? Need to go.
I hate to say it, but you know, those of us who spend time on the road, you walk into odd situations.
Yeah.
Not unlike what you're talking about. It kind of happens. Yeah.
Okay. So here's your next one. If you could go anywhere in this moment, where would it be? If you could go anywhere in this moment, where would it be? It can be anywhere in the universe. Oh, we got out of scope here now. Anywhere in the universe. It doesn't have to be Earth, or it could be on Earth. Anywhere. If you could go anywhere right now.
I'm going to have to get my ponder pipe. Hold on.
Oh, you brought a ponder pipe.
This is an actual pipe. I just wanted to use this as a prop on your show.
It's pretty good. It looks pretty good. I like you got a good hold on it. It looks natural. Like when you hold that, it looks natural.
I'm digging this. I've been waiting. I'm like, at what age can I pull off a pipe? It's really where I'm at in life. That and a hat. Yeah. Anyway, anywhere in the universe other than going back to bed.
That sounds pretty good.
I have, and I think you'd agree with me, I have a fondness for Maui. I would I would go back as long as I could go with my family or friends. Yeah. I would gladly go back to Maui.
Okay, Maui it is. Okay. I thought you were going to go out of our Earth orbit and pick another place, but I got it wrong.
Breathe, so
okay, that is a good point.
Yeah.
Okay. Oh man, so when you're out about on a fun Friday night or Saturday night or whatever night, what is your signature dance move? You know, what is the Hector's signature dance move?
Well, you know, us guys from Chicago, we're just natural dancers. So my toolbox of dance moves is it could be defined as a plethora.
A plethora of dance moves.
When I was younger, I would have said, you know, you pick it. But now, as I'm older and the bad knees and all that, I think I'm pretty good with the lawnmower. Probably
okay, the lawnmower. I don't know if I've actually ever seen anybody do the lawnmower on the dance floor.
Next time we're together, George, this is
okay.
It's happening.
Okay, that sounds like a deal. Okay, here we go. So you haven't done any passes yet. I mean, you're doing great. Okay, if you had to choose to live in a penthouse in a city or a tent in the mountains for the rest of your life, which would you choose and why? You want me to repeat that, or you want me to repeat that?
I gotcha.
Okay. Okay.
You know, George, I pride myself on being the world's greatest indoorsman.
The greatest indoorsman.
If I have a bar, brown liquor and cigars, and a cityscape is where I'm most happy. So
okay.
The mountain is out.
The mountain is out.
The mountain is out.
Okay, so we got that one.
I like the penthouse idea. In fact, you know, thinking about it, my ideal retirement would be to own a hotel and live in the penthouse, getting room service for the rest of my life. That would be the ideal for me. I think Chicago is one of the greatest cities in the world, and you know, I've been to a lot of places. I've been lucky to see it, but two cities One I already mentioned, Santiago, Chile is amazing. But San Francisco is a gorgeous city and a place I've always fallen in love with.
Yeah.
Because I can choose to go walk in the redwoods for a little while and then jump
Yeah.
back in the car and
Right.
head back to city life if I want. So
No, it's also close to Napa Valleys and the wine
which is always a plus.
Sonoma. Yes, and snow. Yeah.
A toast to Napa Valley
Yeah.
with you too many years ago.
That was a long time ago. Yes,
yeah.
that was a fun day. That was a really fun day.
I remember most of it.
Okay, if you could make a rule for one day that everyone had to follow, what would it be and why? If you had to make a rule for one day, it could be in business, it could be in personal life, whatever, a rule for one day everybody had to follow, what would it be?
So, you run a business.
Yeah.
This is a rule that I kind of push on every new employee. Before you ask me a question, say it out loud.
Yeah.
And if it still makes sense, come talk to me.
That's a great rule. I love that rule. Yeah.
In here, it always sounds, well
Right.
thought out,
Yeah.
and then when it actually exits the mouth cavity,
Right.
really not so much.
That allows you a little ability to edit, right? Maybe that's one not to go with. Yeah. Right. Yeah. That's a great one. I love that one. I think we could all use one of those. That's a really good one. Okay. So here we are. Okay. Well, this is kind of fun because it might tie into this. Who knows? But I think, we'll see. What is your biggest pet peeve a lot of people don't know about? Your biggest pet peeve, a lot of people just wouldn't know that you have. Yeah.
I'm
Hector.
What was it?
Oh, I was going to say the Hector pet peeve. What is that Hector pet peeve?
This is a little bit nitpicky, and this is for you younger people watching, moving up in the business world. When you say something, good morning, George, and you laugh right after for no reason, that is incredibly annoying. It's not annoying the first time. It might not be annoying the second time, but if I'm having a conversation with you and you laugh after everything you say, it's a nervous tick. I know it's a nervous tick. Incredibly annoying. So there you go.
Wow. See, and I bet nobody would have known that was one of your pet peeves. They may not have known that. That's a good one.
You and I both make a living talking to people, right?
Yeah.
And so
right.
We talk to CEOs, we talk to janitors. I think you're the same as I. We pay both the same amount of respect, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
And so over time, you pick up on common nervous tics, people that wear glasses, I'm not wearing glasses now because I'm nearsighted and this would mess me up. But even when I'm not wearing my glasses, every now and then I make this adjustment. And so sometimes I'm not wearing glasses and my hand goes up and I realize my glasses aren't even on. It's a nervous tick. What are you going to
do? Yeah. That's great. Well, okay. We're going to get to our next one here. What was your dream job when you were 5? That's always fun when you're young. You always have a thought of it would be a dream job. What is your dream job when you were 5 and why?
I think my dream job when I was 5 is still my dream job to this day, George.
Uh-huh.
And you in high school, you had a high school counselor.
Yes.
Did the career advice thing with you? Did you go through that?
Well, I was there probably quite a bit. If you're talking about the person that had to talk to you about your progress you're making in school and maybe some adjustments you might want to make in life. Yeah, I had a weekly appointment there. So yeah, I got there quite a bit. So
we did the personality test or whatever, and it said, the jobs or careers that you're more likely to be successful at. And when he asked what I wanted to do from a very young age, and this is because of the household I grew up in, everybody I was related to owned a business. My
Uh-huh.
mom owned a couple of restaurants with my aunts. My
Oh,
other aunt owned a toy store. My other aunt and uncle owned a dry cleaners. Everybody was very entrepreneur. And so I thought the greatest job in the world, and I believe it to this day, George,
yeah.
is to own a successful hot dog stand on a beach somewhere.
Wow. Yes.
That had
Wow.
to be the best gig in the whole wide world.
And why is that, Hector? I think I can guess, I think, but I'm going to ask you, why would that be so great?
Nobody will call me at 3 p.m. on Christmas that their fill plant's down. And it's down because they ran out of gas in their bulk tank but didn't realize it.
Yeah, right,
Weird things that happen in this life.
Yeah, yeah.
Very low pressure, and I enjoy talking to people. I get a kick out of it.
Yeah.
And that's what I feel that gig would be all day long.
Okay. I'll tell you what, one day we should go and see if we can get together. We could rent the hot dog stand for a couple hours from the guy, and we'll sell some hot dogs at the beach.
Let's do it.
Yeah.
I'm in.
You were talking about pet peeves a minute ago. I don't know if I could share one of my pet peeves.
Sure.
But it really is. My thing is when you're talking to somebody and you're like telling them what you'd like to get or do, and they don't write anything down and they just look at you and go, okay. For me, I always, kind of like you're talking about, I always think, the polite right thing to do is get something out and say, okay, let me make a note of that and write it down. Maybe everybody's memory is so good, but I'm kind of like, wow, that just, I think especially for salespeople, growing and developing in that role, it's such a powerful thing to take something out and write it down a note.
Completely agree. It's actually, if you talk to anybody that, works at Weldcoa, if they walk into my office for a meeting without a pen and paper or laptop, device,
yeah,
I'm going to chew you up. Like, why are you walking into this meeting, not prepared,
Yeah. Right.
So, yeah, I completely agree.
Yeah. Okay. So, here we go. What song or artist is your guilty pleasure that you don't like telling people about? You don't want anybody to know that you listen to?
I'm a child of the 80s, right?
Okay.
I came of age. I graduated high school in 85. And there's a band they were a one-hit wonder here in the States, but they were immensely popular overseas.
Yeah.
Called Dexy's Midnight Runners.
Dexy's Midnight Runners. I don't know if I know that one.
Come On Eileen was their song.
Oh, really?
And, yes.
Wow.
And it's more of an Irish kind of a sound to it, with the drums.
Yeah, it's got kind of like got that lilt to it. Yeah.
Right, the lilt, exactly. And like I said, it was a one-hit wonder. They never did anything else here in the States. So it's a song that's kind of frowned upon, in today's times. But when that song comes on, and if I'm in the car doing a solo concert, I am killing it at that time.
You're killing it. Do you have the whole hand movements and everything in the car when you're going down the road?
George, I'm doing the upper body dance. I'm doing it all. You better believe it.
Oh my gosh! Got the hand. I got the hand in the box. Whew.
Your hand actually disappeared.
My hand actually went in the box. The lid came down. That's what happened off screen. So we went through all of our questions. You didn't have a single pass. That's fantastic. Look at that.
All you had to do was ask one math question, and I would have passed.
Oh.
No.
So we raised a bunch of money for the charity, World Central Kitchen. And now we're going to get a little bit more. It's $10 an item. So you got 15 seconds to name off things that Rotterman sells, right? So we're going to set our timer. We're going to get our official timer ready to go. Are we ready to go? Okay, go.
Arctic fox, Asian panda, gloves, Doers, Glenfiddich, labels, Blue Label, Taylor Wharton stuff, paintball stuff, helium balloon stuff. Did I say labels already?
I don't. Go keep going.
Safety glasses.
Yep.
Shot glasses.
Yeah. Now you're making stuff up. Ding ding. We're done. Okay. Great job.
All right.
Oh, the bell went off. Okay.
I'm terrible under the gun, George. I'm terrible.
You did a great job. That's fantastic. Okay. So now we're at the serious part of the R bar.
Let me get my pipe back. Right?
Yeah, get the pipe back out, would you? So what doesn't have to
Not
be
cherry,
serious?
but-
What is it, by the way? What is your favorite beverage?
Oh, George.
Oh,
If you look behind me over here,
uh-huh.
as you know, you know me pretty well. I love
Yeah.
bourbon and I love scotches.
Oh, you got Tula Madura back there? Yeah.
I'm driven. I love the small batch.
Oh, yeah.
Bourbons.
Yeah.
This one is from way back in 1998. I've sadly drank myself through the 80s, so
Yeah.
I'm into the 90s now.
Yeah.
And
Nice.
the one thing about the small batch, once it's gone, it's gone. They ain't making any more from 1990.
That's a great point.
98, whatever.
Yeah.
So
That's great.
It's one of those liquors I don't share with my friends because none of them.
You know it's really good when you won't share it with friends.
You want some Jack Daniels? Absolutely.
That's great. I love that. That's a great saying. It's so good, I don't share it with friends. Yeah. I like that. Okay, so here's the thing. All of us in our lives sometimes have a moment that's an epiphany. We kind of say, wow, it's one of those things we look at something and it's that life-changing moment, or we just see things in a different lens. Or we maybe have had something happen in business that, later you look back at it, or maybe at the time it was very funny. A lot of times we're going through difficult times. Those are the things later you come back and it has humor to it. But you could pick anything you'd like to talk about that you think would be, part of the idea of this is that people get to know an industry leader a little bit better and has a little more understanding of some of the things that they're about, what they do. So I thought I'd give you, a couple minutes to tell maybe one of those moments in your life that was kind of a aha or whatever you'd like to talk about.
Unfortunately, my aha moments are my oh crap moments.
Well, that's okay. It can be an old crap moment if you want.
Well, I find, and this might not be true for everybody, but if we all get on winning streaks, or hopefully,
Yeah.
You don't really learn from those experiences, right? You did it, whatever, it came out positive, and you move on. And it's soon forgotten. You don't remember the gritty details. But when you have a oh crap moment, you tend to remember everything about that.
Time slows down, right? Time slows down.
Exactly.
It's all,
Exactly.
yeah.
And for me, I was a young exec. And I had, as I mentioned, I grew up in a very entrepreneur business home. My uncle, who owned the dry cleaners, was a tailor, and he had a very good friend who owned a haberdashery, a place that sells expensive men's suits, men's ties, men's shirts, dress shoes. So I'm 17, and I'm working in the stock room, right? And so stuff comes in. If for those of you who have never worked in a stock room, you open the box. No matter what it is, you put it out on the shelves, right? And so time goes by, and this place sold very expensive suits for that time, Armani suits, like I said.
Oh, yeah.
And he had 2 sales a year, and it was flu season, and the day came of the big sale, and the majority of the salespeople were sick. They didn't show up for work.
Yeah.
Which happens a lot in retail, by the way.
Yeah.
And so he said, I'm going to put you on the tie wall. There was this huge wall that had ties that started at $75.
Oh,
and
my
went
God.
up to like $200.
Yeah.
And he said, I'm going to pay you commission whatever you sell. And if anything's stolen, I'm going to deduct it. So basically, he was just sending me up there because he was afraid people would walk out with ties.
Yeah.
So end of the night, he would pay out the commissions to the salespeople so they could go out and party every night. It was one of the very nice benefits of working.
Maybe that's why they didn't show up too much the next day. They're sick.
Lesson learned there, George. So he adds up all the receipts. And again, I was a kid, and they would let me hang out. And, they'd be opening beers, and, they'd let me have a beer while I was watching this. And I had the third highest sales. And so the next day he said, how did you do this? I don't understand. You're an idiot kid. How'd you do this? And I'm like, well, I put away all the inventory. So I know when an Armani suit comes in, it also comes in with the shirts and the ties that go with it.
Yeah.
Right. And so I knew where all that stuff was at. So I was just quicker to gather that,
Interesting.
and put it out. And so he said, that is good to know. And so he basically lent me some money to buy some clothes. I got a navy, a gray, and black suit. I'll never forget.
Wow.
A couple of ties and a couple of shirts for each, and a pair of black shoes and a pair of brown shoes. And then he took it from my paycheck for the next however long. And he showed me how to keep a book of clients. He'd watched me struggle for a while, and I thought I was a whiz kid salesperson because I had the success.
Right.
But everybody came for the sale. I didn't cause that. Right. I was just there to profit from it. You know, his efforts had brought the people into the store. And he explained to me, he said that a good salesman will bring people into the store, and this is how you do it. And it was a hard lesson to learn because, again, I thought I had knocked out of the park, so I must be a natural good at that.
Right, yeah.
But it turns out it's a tremendous amount of work. And so he gave me this big book, and basically when a client came in, I would carry it with me, and I would put down all their sizes for their shoes and their shirts and their pants, the patterns they like, the colors they like, the designers they like, their birthday, their wife's birthday, things like that. And so when stuff came in from inventory, I would see something, I'd go through my book, and I'm like, he'll probably love this. And so I would contact that person, and then, if they dug it, they'd come in. Now, back then, we didn't have these babies.
Right.
Or else I would have taken photos and, emailing it to people. And I learned a few tricks in the trade. And so when it was their birthday, I'd contact their wife or their girlfriend if I had it in my book. And I'd say, hey, I know his birthday is coming up, and this knockout, polo shirt came in. Right. I think you'd love it. Well, everybody's always worried about, what to get somebody. And I knew their sizes. They didn't have to think about it. Right. So I took a lot of that.
Yeah.
That lesson at 17, 18 has stayed with me my whole life. And in the beginning, it was this mechanical thing that I had to force myself to do. But by the time I was, 20, it was just natural for me to absorb these things. It just became a part of who I was. And because of that, it became, like I said, it was natural. In a way, it just taught me to be attentive and to listen to the clients. And
because you're listening. Well, excuse me. The other thing you're doing, you're really selling, right? I mean, you're bringing value. You're seeing something that you can see that they would, and you're helping them with the amount of time they have to spend and all the things, and really becoming a solution for them. So it's all the basic principles of running a business.
And I never, as a kid, you don't get that. You're looking through this blinders. But yeah, you're absolutely correct. It became apparent to me as the years went by, I'm still using this basic skill set. Right. And I was lucky, like crazy lucky, to have gotten this lesson so early, all because my uncle was a tailor.
Yeah, right. Yes. And also, though, what goes along with that, you took initiative. You were in there really trying to understand the product, and you're thinking about the products you put away. So you knew how to go grab the products and match them up. So you're putting a lot of effort into it as well. So I think that,
I appreciate that. Thank you.
That does create opportunity, right? So that's great. Well, Hector, I got to tell you what, it has been so enjoyable to have you, President Weldcoa, on our bar today. And I enjoyed it, as I always do, talking to you, and enjoy you're very always so humble, and you're just down to earth person, and I just enjoy the conversation so much. So I can't tell you how much I appreciate you being on the our bar today, and thank you.
I thank you for the invite. I was humbled, literally, that you would invite me. I appreciate it. I watched your YouTube channel, the various ones, and I got such a kick out of it. So when Marie called me, I was like, yes, I would love to be on this thing. And I actually chose to work from home today so I could be at our bar.
That worked great. And you had props. You had everything, man.
Let me show you one prop.
Okay. We got the
Glass, cigar.
uh-huh. Oh my gosh.
Oh, baby. This is what life's all about right here. Here you go.
That's great. That's great. Well, thank you again, Hector. You have a great rest of your evening.
George, thank you so much. And please say hi to Dawn and everybody else at Ratterman.
Okay, you got it. Thank you.